Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and tomorrow the challenge to be able to get the CS-52 LIS, the brand new tier 8 Polish premium medium tank, begins. And if you want to undertake it, then I've done the hard work in this video to let you know exactly which stages I recommend doing with tier 10 tanks, which stages I recommend just grinding through, and if you have no idea about what a challenge inside World of Tanks entails, then I'm going to give you some stern warnings about the kind of time that you will have to invest depending on what kind of a player you are. So, challenges inside World of Tanks. This one's going to go for the next 10 days, starting tomorrow. It will start on Friday and it will finish the Monday 10 days after in the morning. So don't think you can come home from work and finish it off on Monday afternoon or Monday evening. That's not going to happen. So this new vehicle, I'm not really going to talk about it today. I'm going to be featuring it in a full tank review tomorrow so you can see if the vehicle's going to be worth the grind. Today, I'm going to let you know how hard the grind will be if you choose that you want to undertake it. So, a challenge inside World of Tanks. I've done this quite a few times on my free-to-play account without all of the paid advantages. And so it definitely is possible, but you're going to have to invest a lot of time into it if you want to. So the challenge is broken down into 10 stages, and they're not time-gated. It's not as if you can only start stage 10 on day 10. You could do all of it on day 1 if you were the most incredible player just smashing through tier 10 tanks again and again and again. But realistically, it's going to take several, if not many, it was going to take the whole 10 days to be able to complete this challenge if you are the average player of World of Tanks. As you can see, the requirements to complete the stages progressively gets harder and harder and harder. Stage 1, 2,000 base experience. Doesn't sound too hard, right? Stage 10, 50,000 base experience. Yeah, that's quite a lot of grinding. Every stage you complete will give you a 10% discount off the tank, so don't just rush out tomorrow and buy it in the store unless you've got more money than sense. Go and complete at least some of the early stages to earn yourself at least a 30, if not a 40% discount off the total package, and then you're going to be getting a pretty good deal inside World of Tanks. Although, of course, you're going to have to play for it. So, what kind of rewards can you get from the LIS challenge? Well, without having to click through all of these different icons, I've just decided to offload it all onto a monster Excel spreadsheet so I can break it down for you. So here are all of the rewards for the LIS challenge. You can get yourself, it looks like you could get yourself up to about 1.5 million credits worth of equipment and also just raw credits by completing the challenge. One of the interesting things is that stage 7 actually gives you a turbocharger, so if you want to buy those at full price, yeah, they're costing 600,000 credits at the moment. I'm absolutely murdering my credit balance inside World of Tanks by buying all of this new equipment from Equipment 2.0. I'm not buying it off half price. It doesn't look like there's going to be an equipment sale this weekend. Just hope there's going to be one soon. So the turbocharger, if you sell it, it's going to be 300,000 credits. If you choose to use it, it could save you up to 600,000 credits. I'm just going to leave that for you to decide. Along the way, you can get 3 days of premium as well. You get a day of premium for completing stage 4, a day of premium for completing stage 7, and a day of premium for completing stage 9 as well. One of my big recommendations is to remember that you get the day of premium when you complete the stage. And so maybe leave it so that you've got 1,000 experience left on one of your stages of grinding, and then pop it the next day if you're a free-to-play player right at the beginning, and then play a lot and do it fresh-faced, and you can make the most out of that premium day. Also, one thing that you can do is remember that if you are only getting a single day of premium, if you're a free-to-play player, then you can get the 5 3x experience boosts that you can choose on the specific tanks that you play from one day, and then bam, they reset at 5 in the morning, and then if you get up, or maybe you just triggered it in the evening, then you can go and use that to be able to get another 5 3x experience boosts as well. That's something that's only just happened recently when we consider it, because obviously there haven't been those luxuries from a premium account before in a while. Okay, so all in all, how long is this event going to take you? Well, let me try and break down how I've worked it out here. So here are the missions if you choose to just grind through all the stages. It's going to be 246,000 experience, which I believe is 1,000 more than it was for the Borask challenge. And so the challenge all in all is going to take about as much as that if you want to grind it. However, Wargaming have substantially changed the requirements for the fast track in tier 10 tanks. Let me just tell you which ones I think are going to be absolutely awesome and tell you which ones I think are going to be absolutely awful. So stage 1, if you have a tier 10 tank, you should play it. You're going to be able to skip 2,000 base experience grinding, and all you have to do is get 650 base experience. You can even do that on the losing team if you have a very good game, but more often than not, you're going to have to win a game at tier 10 to be able to achieve that. Bang, stage 1 done. Stage 2, I'm still going to do it with my tier 10 tanks, even on my free-to-play account, because you have to do 3,500 damage and finish in the top 3. I think I can do that probably once in every 2 games, personally. So I think that's going to shave off at least half an hour of gameplay if I choose to play at tier 10 for that stage. Stage 3, I like doing the top experience 2 times. I think that's probably going to take me about 4 games. That's going to take me probably about an hour, if not more, less than it would take for me to be able to grind 9,000 base experience. But of course I have to play my tier 10 vehicles and I don't make any progress on the account. Stage 4, 4,200 damage. That's a substantial amount more. I think there will be a lot of people playing tank destroyers. There will be a lot of people playing autoloaders. There will be a lot of people playing very carefully. 4,200 damage 4 times. I think that'll take me about 12 games if I was really tryharding on my main account. And so, yeah, definitely going to save myself some time there. Stage 5 requires you to be top damage on both teams 8 times. That is a big step up in difficulty. I think this stage at tier 10 is going to take about 3 times longer than the previous stage would have taken. So this is starting to be the point where I think that you might want to consider just grinding. The subsequent stage, stage 6, you have to get 850 experience 13 times. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but remember this is base experience, and the only real way to get 850 base experience is to be on the winning team. So you've got to factor in that you have to win, and you have to have a reasonably good game as well. So if you're only winning half your time at tier 10, it can start to be a little bit ugly. The next stage I actually think is probably going to take less time. You have to be top experience on both teams 9 times. For me personally, I think that will actually take less time than the previous stage, and it's a lot better than doing the 32,000 base grinding. All in all, what I'm talking about here are things that are quite challenging to do. And if you're an incredibly good player or just a very, very, very good player, then you are going to be able to progress faster through the marathon by playing your tier 10 tanks. For all of you out there who don't have tier 10 tanks or don't consider yourself the best player, don't panic. I'm about to break down exactly how long it will take you to be able to complete this marathon. So stage 8, high caliber, 5 times, still not too bad. But stage 9, this is where it gets really tricky. You have to be top on damage 25 times. Talk about a huge step up, Wargaming. They really don't want people to go through the final 2 stages on fast track by playing their tier 10 tanks. And the final stage, stage 10, you have to be top on experience 30 times. Just think about how much more difficult that is than stage 3. It's literally 15 times more difficult than stage 3 was. I think that even if I was playing at my best, I think it would take me longer to be able to complete stage 10 in my tier 10 tanks than it would do to just grind the 50,000 experience. And so my thorough recommendations for all of you out there, if you're a very good player or you're an exceedingly good player, is try and target stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 and 8 inside your tier 10 tanks. And I would thoroughly recommend doing stage 9 and 10 by just grinding. Play whatever tanks you want. Grind some premium tanks. Make a load of credits. Or alternatively, you might even want to consider doing stage 6 with a grind, because just the fact that you have to win really to get that 850 base experience is incredibly frustrating. At least it would be for me. So all in all, if I was playing at my best on my main account, I think this challenge would take me 36 hours of playing to be able to achieve. If I was to grind, however, on my free-to-play account, and I was getting 600 base experience on average in every single game that I play, and I finish in the top 10, 7 out of 8 times, then it would take me 47 hours to be able to complete this challenge. And that's something that's incredibly important to highlight. A lot of people don't take into account, if you're planning on doing the missions for commitment, i.e. just grinding out the base experience, that you have to finish in the top 10 in tier 6 to 10 vehicles. And for a lot of players, finishing in the top 10 can be quite challenging. Maybe for the below average players out there, it's only going to be happening in 1 in 2 games where you're finishing in the top 10 players. And that is really where it makes this event almost unachievable for the worst players of World of Tanks. So now take a look at the table that you see on my right on your screen, where I've broken down how long it will take you to be able to complete the event depending on how much base experience you get in every single one of your games. If you average 100 base experience, yeah, good luck. You're going to have to play 5,000 games of World of Tanks in a 10-day period. That's 492 games per day. It's going to take you about 49 hours every single day to be able to complete this challenge. Now let's move up to the better players, the people who can get 300 base experience in all of their games. It's still going to take you 137 games every single day for those 10 days. Over 13 hours of gameplay every single day. There's no way really that you're going to be able to complete this challenge. And just for all of you out there, I'm estimating that somebody who gets 300 base experience is finishing in the top 10, 6 games out of 10. So of course, 40% of their games won't even count towards the total. Now let's move up to players like me who are playing on a free-to-play account. What can they achieve? I on my free-to-play account, when I'm playing all of my stock tanks, on average, can get 600 base experience per game. That is going to take me 547 games over the 10 days, 55 games a day. That is going to take, on average, 5.5 hours per day, 55 hours to be able to complete this challenge. Although that's not taking into account that I am going to target some of the earlier stages in my tier 10 tanks. Now I have the luxury of having them on my free-to-play account. Now let's talk about how I play when I'm playing on average on my main account. On average on my main account, I can get 800 base experience. If I can get 800 base experience in my games, and I estimate that I finish in the top 10 85% of the time, it's going to take me 362 games to be able to complete the challenge through grinding. That's 36 games per day, and that's just over 3.5 hours of playing World of Tanks every single day. That's still a lot, and hopefully that should definitely be a warning, but also an encouragement to any of you out there who are thinking, how long do I have to play if I'm a very good player? 3.5 hours every day. If you miss one day, the next day you're going to have to play 7 hours in a row. It's starting to get a little bit hardcore at that point. One thing that's very interesting with how these challenges play out is the way that the total event time that you would have to grind, you actually have to complete the first 7 stages to have completed half of the event. And so if you decide to undertake one of these challenges inside World of Tanks and you really want to get yourself the CS-52 LIS for free, then it's very important to realize you might be bashing through stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 even on day 1, and you're thinking, oh wow, I've done so good, I can take a couple of days off. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you want to absolutely utterly get the tank for free without paying for anything, keep in mind that the final 3 stages take as long as the first 7 took you. And so once you've completed stage 7 and you're beginning stage 8, you're only halfway through the challenge if you are grinding. And so be warned. So all in all, as the CS-52 LIS challenge only requires you to get 1,000 more experience than the Borask, it's practically identical. This is still one of the harder challenges that Wargaming have put out. The EBR was slightly easier than it. The TS5 was significantly easier than it. And the hardest challenge, believe it or not, was actually the Renegade with the amount of experience that you had to get. And the CS-52 LIS is right in between the difficulty of the Borask and the Renegade challenge. Wargaming have really felt like they've fine-tuned it at this point, and it's practically the same level of effort required in each of the challenges that they have put out recently. And so would I recommend undertaking the challenge, the CS-52 LIS challenge? Well, if you're a casual player of World of Tanks, just play the game normally, see how far you get, and then at the end of it, if you've completed 5 stages, then you know what? Getting a 50% discount if this is your first premium tank or you just really love Polish premiums, it's an okay deal. If, on the other hand, you've currently got a lot of time on your hands, then take a look at how much I've recommended that you're going to have to play every single day, dependent on how good of a player you are, which is right here, and realistically approach this challenge methodically. The worst thing that can happen if you try to undertake this challenge and you absolutely, utterly don't want to spend any money on it is to get to the final day or the final couple of days and not have enough time to be able to achieve it. Then you'll feel you have to get the credit card out and you have to pay that $10, $20 to be able to get the tank because of the time that you've invested in it. And remember that unless you complete stage 10, if you don't buy the vehicle with the 90% discount that you're going to have, then all of that will have kind of been for nothing. Sure, you'll be able to get some of the rewards along the way, which will be really nice if you weren't considering to buy anything, right? Who's going to put their nose up at the idea of having 3 days of premium, to have 10 times 50% extra credits for total for 10 hours, and to be able to get all of that extra credits and some of the really nice pieces of equipment like the turbocharger class 1 for free? That's not too bad. But my final warning, as always, for these challenge videos are to remember that at the end of the day, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that you are grinding for pixels in a video game. Sure, the tank looks cool. Sure, it's got a cute little fox on the side, as I'm going to show you tomorrow. But it's just a tank. You've probably got vehicles that are already very similar to the vehicle, or you could just save yourself a lot of time or a lot of money and just play the premium tanks that you already have, or get yourself a T-44 in the tech tree. It's not too different, really. And my final warning would be to make sure that you approach this challenge knowing that sometimes it can make you end up hating the game that you're playing because you feel like you're playing it as a job. You feel like you're playing it as work. And at that point, is it a game anymore? I've seen so many players, not just in World of Tanks, in games like World of Warcraft as well, where they've played Classic recently. If any of you played that towards last year, where we knew what we were getting ourselves into. We did it anyway, and it took far more time than we really wanted to invest in the matter. And by the end of it, you feel a little bit burnt out. You feel like you're doing it for the sake of it. At that point, is there even a point of having the vehicle in your garage if you're not going to enjoy it at the end of it? Anyway, that's it for today. Really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that the breakdown of how long it was going to take you and my recommendations for which stages to complete in your tier 10 tanks was useful. If it was, make sure you give the video a thumbs up and let your friends know if they're wondering how long it's going to take as well. And if you hated the video, also make sure you give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments whether you are going to undertake the CS-52 LIS challenge. And I can announce here, because I'm sure somebody's going to ask me in the comments down below, yes, ladies and gents, boys and girls, I am going to attempt the challenge on my free-to-play account. So I'm really looking forward to seeing a lot of you tune in on Twitch for that. I'm going to definitely unlock I've got the T-54 unlocked. I'm going to unlock the Object 140. Got quite a few tanks that I'm looking forward to grinding on my free-to-play account, and especially to be able to get the CS-52 LIS at the end of it. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Good luck if you undertake the challenge, with the warnings that hopefully I've given you, and hopefully I'll see you soon.